It's time to break some rules. For those unfamiliar, Iceberg charts display trivia and more about a piece of media. The deeper it goes, the more obscure and disturbing the facts get. Today we look at the LEGO Dimensions Iceberg, created by yours truly. Though it combines elements from icebergs created by Baby Jeff and u/the A Gamer. Baby Jeff included little text boxes and links explaining each entry in his iceberg, making the research side of this a little easier. LEGO Dimensions is one of the most ambitious legal nightmares of all time. The game is a crossover between some of the greatest franchises ever created. But there's more to this game than meets the eye, so I'm going to need some help.
Hey guys, it's me, Supersonic Mikey. In this iceberg, I will be discussing anything related to Sonic the Hedgehog.
Before we commence forth, spoiler warning for the following things. Without further ado, let's begin. Crossover. As mentioned earlier, LEGO Dimensions is a crossover. The franchises in question that are being crossed over are Back to the Future, Chima, DC, Doctor Who, Ghostbusters, Jurassic World, The Lego Movie, The Lord of the Rings, Midway Arcade, Ninjago, Portal, Scooby-Doo, The Simpsons, and The Wizard of Oz. Toys to Life. Toys to Life is the subgenre of LEGO Dimensions. In Toys to Life games, you scan a figure and it appears in the game. The figure usually unlocks content, making them physical DLC. Examples of this include Skylanders, Disney Infinity, Angry Birds Telepods, Pokemon Rumble U, Starlink Battle for Atlas, and most successfully, Amiibos. For LEGO Dimensions, it doesn't matter what level or world you're in. If you own a figure, you can place it on the toy pad and play as it in the game, meaning that you don't need to unlock free play, unlike most LEGO games. However, studs are still used to fill the stud meter, upgrade your vehicles, upgrade your gadgets, complete restorations, and buy red bricks. Though in order to unlock an adventure world, you need to buy a character from that world with real money. Adventure worlds aren't the only thing locked behind a figure. Each figure comes with a vehicle and/or gadget that you need in-game instructions to build, and some figures come with entire levels. These levels are usually either really long, or a really short version of whatever movie or show it's based on, or both. $100 Starter Pack. The Starter Pack, which is how you're supposed to buy the game, was $100 at launch. That's $40 more than most video games were in 2015, but remember, the Starter Pack isn't just the game itself. The Starter Pack includes the toy pad that scans the figures into the game, 3 minifigures which each unlock an adventure world, a vehicle, and the LEGO Gateway. The Starter Pack comes with a LEGO Gateway that you have to build yourself. Technically, you can play through the entire game without it, but it's more immersive this way. The Gateway also plays an important role in the story. Batman, Gandalf, and Wildstyle. The 3 characters that come with the game are Batman, Gandalf, and Wildstyle. These 3 characters give you access to 3 different adventure worlds right out of the box, being DC Comics, The Lord of the Rings, and the Lego Movie. Though you have to complete the first level before you can go to any of the adventure worlds. We follow this trio throughout the main campaign as they travel through the multiverse in search of their friends. Funnily enough, all three of these characters already appeared in the Lego Movie, though it's not the same version of Batman and Gandalf. They're also all owned by Warner Brothers, who also owns TT Games, so that's probably why they're the main characters. Year 2. At E3 2016, a trailer was released announcing LEGO Dimensions Year 2. The trailer advertised new IPs coming to the game, including Ghostbusters 2016, Harry Potter, Mission Impossible, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, The Goonies, Adventure Time, The A-Team, Gremlins, Teen Titans Go, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and Sonic the Hedgehog. Side note, Gizmo in the Year 2 trailer looks significantly worse than Gizmo in the final game. E3 2016 also revealed several franchises that weren't in the trailer, including Knight Rider, Lego City Undercover, the Lego Batman Movie, Powerpuff Girls 2016, and Beetlejuice. I feel like most of these were chosen by a bunch of millennial dads. That or it's part of this era's obsession with the 80s.
Are you saying that thing can take us into movies from the 80s?
This game also kind of started the trend of studios going, "Hey, look at all the stuff we own! Oh, Story packs. On top of including new level packs, Year 2 also had a new type of pack, being the Story Pack. The 3 story packs are all based on more recent films at the time. It's kinda like if one of the many LEGO games based on multiple movies received DLC in the form of another pack of levels based on another movie. Each story pack comes with its own gateway, a vehicle, a character or two, and an adventure world that changes based on how far you are into the story. Despite all the effort, the story packs kinda feel like a cheap way to make a LEGO game without having to make a LEGO game. Though I will give credit to TT Games, since with the level packs, adventure worlds, and story packs combined, they've doubled the length of LEGO Dimensions. Battle Mode. Battle Mode is another new addition added by Year 2. In Battle Mode, 2 to 4 players battle each other in a game of Capture the Flag, Base Bash, Objective, or Tic Tag Boom.
Why am I going up here? I don't need to capture any flags from here. No, I'm stuck. Help!
No.
Every Year 2 character unlocks an arena for you to battle in. Sonic Dimensions.
Finally, something interesting. Sonic Dimensions is probably one of, if not the most famous part of LEGO Dimensions. The only Sonic pack released for the game was a level pack containing the Blue Blur himself, the Sonic Speedster, Sonic's car from the Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing series, the Tornado, Tails' plane, and a level titled Sonic Dimensions. This level is pretty much classic Sonic gameplay with LEGO mechanics, and a bit of sense of meta humor.
In my opinion, it's somewhat fun to play, a bitch to 100% complete. Same goes for the adventure world.
As for my opinion, I thought it was pretty cool. I was enjoying myself when playing the game, and overall I had a fun time. Sadly though, this, alongside Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, both for Wii U and 3DS, and Sonic Boom Fire and Ice were the only Sonic games released in the year of Sonic's 25th anniversary. However, this was not the first game that Sonic was in created by Traveler's Tales, because actually, Traveler's Tales made 2 Sonic games back in the 90s.
Man, I can really feel the sunshine. It's brightening up my day.
This would also not be the last time that LEGO Sonic would be used in an official Sega product, because as of right now, LEGO Sonic merchandise is everywhere right now. Interestingly enough, this is also not Sonic's only appearance in whatever the name of this genre is. The Fastest Thing Alive also appears in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, The Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny, Wreck-It Ralph, Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, Ready Player One, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. And he even makes an appearance in a Simpsons episode. Why am I mentioning this? Because in LEGO Dimensions, if you pair Sonic with Bart Simpson, Sonic actually says his line from the episode.
Just take it! Take it, take it, take it, take it, take it!
Take it!
Hey, Bart, remember, if you see a gold brick lying around, just take it! Take it, take it, take it, take it! Take it!
Portal 2. Portal 2 is another famous part of LEGO Dimensions. The Portal 2 level pack was released on the same day as the base game, being September 27th, 2015. It came with Chell, a sentry turret, a companion cube, and a level titled Aperture Science. Aperture Science is the closest thing we have to Portal 3, as of 2024. The level takes place after the second game and plays like a Portal game with LEGO mechanics, though it's not as meta as Sonic Dimensions. It's pretty fun, though it will likely be retconned out of existence if Portal 3 is ever made. It's a shame I couldn't find a spot where you shoot one portal in the ground and one on the ceiling and jump in. Toy tags. Inside the base of every Dimensions figure is an NFC tag called a toy tag. The tags are the only thing the game recognizes, so technically you don't have to build anything. But playing like this is just depressing. Most people who play Dimensions nowadays create their own toy tags for free, using nothing but a PDF, a printer, and Wi-Fi. Guess that means I spent hundreds of dollars for nothing! Sometimes the official toy tags would stop working, for whatever reason. Back then, LEGO had a service where you'd send them the figure and they'd give you a new toy tag. I doubt the service still works since the game has been discontinued for some time. Lord Vortech. Lord Vortech is the main villain of LEGO Dimensions. His goal is to rule the multiverse. Yeah, Vortech is never given depth or a backstory of any kind. The game just begins with him arriving at Foundation Prime and gloating about how he will have the power to make universes collide. I'm pretty sure the only reason anyone remembers him is because he's voiced by award-winning actor Gary Oldman.
Thank you. To the left, please. Oh, and you won't be needing those lovely ruby slippers anymore, my dear. You said it, old man, because I'm not even on the chessboard. I'm the hand controlling every single piece.
Keystones. Throughout the first half of the main campaign, you collect these purple things called keystones. They're activated by punching one of these things. After activating the keystone, you must use its mechanics to solve a puzzle. Every time you collect one, the game tells you to take one that's stationed behind the gateway and place it on its designated spot. The keystones in order are Shift, Chroma, Elemental, Scale, Locate, Rip, Creation, and Phase. The Shift keystone allows you to teleport to a certain location depending on which part of the toy pad you're on. The Chroma keystone is activated by building 3 color panels. Once you build these, match the colors on the toy pad to the colors displayed on whatever is in the level. You do this by moving the figures around on the toy pad. The Elemental keystone gives characters the ability to use one of 4 elements, being fire, water, electricity, and earth. Though whenever you use this keystone, they only give you 3 to choose from. You activate them by, again, moving the figures around. The Scale keystone allows players to shrink, grow, or go back to normal. Your size is determined by which part of the toy pad you're on. The Locate keystone is my favorite one. After activating it, you must find a crack in the dimension you're in. The greener the toy pad gets, the closer you are to the crack. Once you find the crack, you can summon another famous thing to help you solve a puzzle. The next 3 keystones were created for Year 2 and don't have physical versions. They also require you to shine a light on a spot on the wall to activate them. The Rip keystone allows you to tear open a portal into 2 alternate versions of the area you're in. The Creation keystone allows you to create beasts out of surrounding LEGO objects. It's pretty much just a glorified version of master building. The final keystone is the phase keystone. This keystone will allow you to bring in 3 small set pieces from famous IPs. You can only bring in 1 at a time. A lot of these feel like unnecessary uses for the toy pad. The game does this with other stuff too, where you're forced to move a figure around in order to activate a thingamabob. I'm kind of wondering if the developers were aware how much of a gimmick this is, because...
You have to tell the elevator what floor you want now. I mean, is it really so hard to push a button?
Foundation elements. The foundation elements are the main items that both Vortech and our trio of heroes are after, as combining them all will give you the power to rule the multiverse. They're described as the cornerstones of time and space and are said to have existed since the beginning of time. The elements in question are a Rock of Kryptonite, the Ring of Power, Metalbeard's Treasure, Nessa Rose's Ruby Slippers, yeah, that's her name, go to the wiki, the Inanimate Carbon Rod, the Staff of Elements, the Flux Capacitor, the Cake, which is real, apparently, the Palantir, a PKE meter, a gold token, and the Diamond Scarab. I never understood why Metalbeard's Treasure is the foundation element for the LEGO Movie world. That was never important in the LEGO Movie, and frankly, I don't even know if it was in the movie. Why not the Piece of Resistance? That's the thing that ends the conflict of the movie, and is named after the term Piece de Resistance, meaning an outstanding item or event. Expo. At the halfway point of the game, Gandalf accidentally breaks this thing that's been on the side of the portal in real life and in the game itself. However, Wildstyle notices that breaking it doesn't affect the gateway at all. Then the game gives you instructions on how to build an unknown gadget into Expo, meaning Experimental Portal Operator. The game doesn't tell you what to do with Expo after this, so I just did this. Expo is the tutorial character of LEGO Dimensions. We actually first meet Expo at the beginning of the game, when he helps Vortech get to Foundation Prime, only to regret it after finding out his intentions. Vortech then banishes him to another dimension and presumably erases some of his memories. Despite this, Expo is still able to secretly help Batman, Gandalf, and Wildstyle with his ominous machine voice and hint boxes. Official announcement video. The announcement trailer for LEGO Dimensions was released on April 10th, 2015. In the video, Joel McHale, the voice of Expo, receives a mysterious glowing box. The box contains LEGO pieces and instructions to build the gateway. Joel proceeds to build the gateway only for it to turn on and have Batman, Gandalf, and Wildstyle pop out. After a stranger fight, our trio of heroes explain that they have to rescue their friends and stop a bad guy who's tearing rifts between LEGO worlds. By the way, am I the only one who thinks it's weird hearing a LEGO character say the word LEGO?
He's been tearing rifts between all the LEGO worlds.
Wow.
Before they can leave, the Batmobile breaks and Joel has to fix it. The trio then leaves and a bunch of gameplay clips are shown along with the title. Then Joel swallows a Batarang. This ad might be canon to the events of LEGO Dimensions, since after beating the game, a mystery dimension is unlocked. The mystery dimension leads to the desk from the trailer. After a short clip from the trailer plays, you are now free to walk around the desk. In order to beat this level, you have to defeat 42 waves of enemies with 3 from each dimension and a gold brick for each trio of waves. Though in order to fight every wave, you have to have visited all 14 adventure worlds. At least the ones from year 1. After defeating the enemies, the rest of the ad plays, and Joel doesn't acknowledge the enemies you just defeated. I don't know if this part of the game is supposed to be a prequel or something, but it's kinda neat. You can also access another version of the real world via a TARDIS panel in the level Arkham Attack. Fun fact, there's multiple Easter eggs in the announcement trailer referencing properties that are in LEGO Dimensions. Huge shout out to Robert Time 8316 for catching some that I missed. Below the stairs, there's a guitar that reminds me of Marty's guitar. A LEGO version of the Tower of Orthanc is over here. On the right of the TV area, there are two posters, one for Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring, and the other for Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. We get a better look at it in the mystery dimension. There's a yellow excavator on the bookshelf, which could be a reference to Emmett's excavator. Behind Joel, there's a painting with a bunch of bat symbols on it, likely a Batman reference. Next to the bat painting is the arcade game Robotron 2084, which you can unlock in LEGO Dimensions in the level Retro Wreckage. Joel scans the gateway with a PKE meter from Ghostbusters. The clip that appears on the television is from The Wizard of Oz. There's a Wonder Woman lunchbox on the bookshelf, as well as a micromanager from the Lego Movie and a dinosaur that could be related to Jurassic World. The spaceship Joel places Wildstyle on might be from something. This guy is probably related. Behind Joel in this shot is Defender, which you can unlock in the level Retro Wreckage. There's a different bat painting behind Joel in this shot. A sword that may be related to Ninjago is hanging on the wall. Joel's victory snack is the classic donut with pink frosting and sprinkles from The Simpsons. And in the Mystery Dimension version of this area, the beta title screen for LEGO Dimensions is on the television. Hire a hero. Whenever you come across a puzzle, a hint box from Expo will pop up. Hitting it will either tell you how to complete it, or tell you that you need a certain character in order to complete it. If the game thinks you don't have the character you need, the hint box will be gold instead of blue. After reading the hint, the game will give you the option to hire a hero for 120 seconds. While this sounds like a microtransaction, the game charges you with in-game studs, rather than real money. There's also a red brick titled Hire a Hero discount that can be found in the Teen Titans Go world that reduces the price of Hire a Hero. This is a good system to make the whole Toys to Life gimmick feel less evil, though you can't use Hire a Hero to unlock other dimensions. 100% difficulty. 100% completing LEGO Dimensions the way the game designers want you to is an expensive endeavor. Not only do you need certain characters to complete certain tasks and collect certain things, but you also need them to unlock certain levels and adventure worlds. According to this video, the bare minimum amount of things you'll need to buy are as follows. The base game, any ninja, so let's say Nia because that's the one I bought. The Kragger Fun Pack. The Jurassic World Team Pack. The Scooby-Doo Team Pack. The Wicked Witch of the West Fun Pack. The Portal 2 Level Pack. The Simpsons Level Pack. The Back to the Future Level Pack. The Ghostbusters Level Pack. You might need the Slimer Fun Pack for this part in the Chima world, but some people have done it with a glitch or something. I wasn't able to do it, so you might need to buy Slimer. The Doctor Who Level Pack. You might need the Cyberman Fun Pack for underwater hacking, but I just hired a hero, so who knows. The Midway Arcade Level Pack. The Harry Potter Team Pack. The Mission Impossible Level Pack. The E.T. Fun Pack. The Goonies Level Pack. The Adventure Time Level Pack. The Adventure Time Team Pack, the A-Team Fun Pack, the Gremlins Team Pack, the Teen Titans Go Team Pack, the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them Story Pack, the Sonic the Hedgehog Level Pack, the Knight Rider Fun Pack, the Lego Batman Movie Story Pack, the Powerpuff Girls Team Pack, the Lego City Undercover Fun Pack, the Beetlejuice Fun Pack, the Ghostbusters 2016 Story Pack, the Superman Fun Pack, or Supergirl, which came with some PS4 bundles, and the Cyborg Fun Pack. Adding all of this up with the prices they were at the time of release gives us about $890. That's already a lot, but let's take into account how expensive these things are now due to the game being discontinued. Not including the ones that weren't available on Amazon, the final price is what the f***? In addition to needing a second job, you also have to complete every level, collect every min kit, save everyone who's in peril, fill every rule breaker bar, collect and buy every red brick, complete every restoration, and collect every gold brick. Yeah, 100% completing LEGO Dimensions the way TT Games intended will steal a lot of time and financially destroy you. I did it anyway. I also got the Platinum Trophy. And guess what? You get nothing for doing this. Yeah, no secret level, no special cutscene, not even a fucking postcard, nothing. I usually don't care about this certain thing, but considering the game expects you to pay hundreds of dollars, this is diabolical. Rare polybags. Green Arrow and Supergirl were both released as rare polybags. Green Arrow was exclusive to E3, certain bundles, and a giveaway, while Supergirl was exclusive to certain PS4 bundles. Despite being exclusive to specific bundles for specific consoles, Supergirl works on every console. Nowadays, these figures are hard to find without secondhand buying. Lloyd Garmadon was in both Xbox One bundles and his own fun pack, Break the Rules. Break the Rules was the tagline of LEGO Dimensions. It's repeated many times throughout the marketing and the game itself. The phrase is supposed to encourage players to come up with whatever crazy thing they want. Make the Batmobile pink, have Tom Cruise team up with Unikitty, have Finn the Human ride the A-Team van through the lands of Chima. Do whatever you want that the game allows you to do. No one can stop you! 2 Batmen. When you first start playing the game, multiple cutscenes play showing how our unlikely trio of heroes met. When Batman and Gandalf first meet Wildstyle, the LEGO Batman video game Batman, voiced by Troy Baker, also meets the LEGO movie version of Batman, voiced by Will Arnett. Troy and Will then have a brief slap fight before a portal takes away Metalbeard and another portal takes away Troy, Gandalf, and Wildstyle, much to the glee of Will. The main takeaway from this is that the LEGO movie Batman and the LEGO video game Batman are in 2 separate universes. Despite the fact that for most of the game you're meant to play as Troy Baker, if you're in the LEGO Batman movie adventure world, or a level from the story pack, Troy Baker Batman will transform into Will Arnett Batman. The LEGO Batman story pack actually asks you to put Troy Baker Batman on the toy pad in order to play. Will has all the abilities Troy has with the addition of gliding, the merch gun, detective mode, and sometimes missing when he throws a batarang. Beating the energy plant will allow you to unlock the red brick titled Always Batman. Buying and activating it will allow you to always be Will Arnett Batman no matter which world you're in. Though if you want to be Troy Baker in the LEGO Batman movie areas, enter with the red brick turned on, then turn it off. I have no idea why anyone would want to do that. Unfortunately, this gold brick doesn't affect other characters who were also in the LEGO Batman movie or any of the other LEGO movies. Despite all this effort, an Excalibur Batman Fun Pack was still released. Side note, the Will Arnett Batman you play as looks slightly different than the Will Arnett Batman that's an NPC in the LEGO movie Adventure World. Archive audio / recasts. Due to the amount of properties in LEGO Dimensions, there are a lot of characters that were played by a famous performer. While LEGO Dimensions was able to get a majority of the original actors to reprise their roles, some of them couldn't due to being deceased, being problematic, or some other unknown reason. So TT Games decided to either have the character be played by a different actor, or use archived audio clips that the original actor already recorded.
It's not selling out. It's co-branding. Co-branding. It's not selling out. It's co-branding. Co-branding.
Wake up.
Ray. Ray, this looks extraordinarily bad. Ray, this looks extraordinarily bad.
Red light! Green light! Red light! Green light!
Anyway, here's the ones that didn't age well. Doctor Who's relevance. The 12th Doctor is practically the 4th main character of the story. He's one of the few main characters in the main campaign that has multiple fully voice-acted conversations with you, he saves you twice, he prevents Vortech from tracking you, and he's pivotal to defeating Vortech. The reason behind this is likely that within the Doctor's own show, he deals with interdimensional shenanigans on a daily basis.
And Knuckles. On October 18th of 1994, a game called Sonic & Knuckles was released for the Sega Genesis. However, it wasn't an ordinary game. It had a feature unlike any other game cartridge at the time, exclusive to the Sega Genesis, known as Lock-On Technology! Now, what is Lock-On Technology, you might ask? It means that there's a cartridge port on top of the cartridge itself, meaning you can plug one game and then stack another game on top of it. With the power of Lock-On Technology, you can put Sonic the Hedgehog 3 on top of Sonic & Knuckles, resulting in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. If you plug in Sonic 2, you get Knuckles in Sonic 2. Now, for the reason of all of this madness is that Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Sonic & Knuckles was not supposed to be two games. In fact, it was supposed to be one huge game, but due to the technology at the time, it didn't allow Sega to make it the way they wanted to. Also, they had to release the game just in time for a McDonald's Happy Meal promotion. I'm not kidding. So, they split Sonic 3 into two, adding the lock-on technology, and they created, well, that. For a while, and Knuckles was a very popular meme in the Sonic community, with many coming up with an overly complicated title and adding "and Knuckles" to it. With the meta nature of LEGO Dimensions, the meme was referenced with a quest in the Sonic the Hedgehog dimension titled LEGO Dimensions and Knuckles. Sonic music. If you played through the Sonic sections of LEGO Dimensions, you may have noticed that the music selection is odd, to say the least. There's a lot of bizarre remixes, with the exception of some sound effects from the original games, and the only music that are ripped from the games are from Sonic Adventure 2, and Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 1 and 2.
Alright, bring it on!
Supposedly, the reason for this was that Traveler's Tales wasn't able to secure the rights to the original Genesis music, so they made this instead. It's been routinely mocked for sounding royalty-free, though some people don't mind it, myself included.
TTG episode. As advertised on every Teen Titans Go pack, there is an exclusive, nearly full-length Teen Titans Go episode locked behind a Titans member. The method to unlock it is quite simple. First, buy one of the Teen Titans Go packs. Then, go up to the TTG gateway. On the left of the gateway is a TV that can be activated by any TTG character. Press it, and the short starts playing. This notification will always show up for PlayStation users. I'm sorry. The short actually begins with regular TTG animation before switching to LEGO mode. The short's credits also have the original Titans theme. LEGO Dimensions is not the only time the Go Titans crossed over with Adventure Time, Beetlejuice, The Flintstones, kind of The Goonies, Gremlins, Harry Potter, The Jetsons, Scooby-Doo, The Powerpuff Girls, or The Wizard of Oz. Gamer Kid. Gamer Kid, voiced by Josh Keaton, is the only playable character of the Midway arcade world. He drinks a soda that can give him a variety of superpowers. The main interesting thing about him is that unlike every other playable character in the game, he's not from anything. He's completely original and only exists so that the Midway arcade franchise has a character. Newly acquired franchises. A majority of the franchises in LEGO Dimensions, especially in Year 2, didn't have a LEGO theme before Dimensions. These include Doctor Who, Portal 2, Midway Arcade, The Wizard of Oz, Sonic the Hedgehog, The A-Team, Mission Impossible, The Goonies, Knight Rider, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Gremlins, Adventure Time, Powerpuff Girls 2016, and Beetlejuice. While some of these would later receive official LEGO sets outside of Dimensions, most of them were never touched again, which explains why a lot of these packs are so damn expensive. 13 playable Doctors. Despite the level pack only coming with one LEGO Doctor, you can play as every single Doctor that existed at the time. However, the way you switch between Doctors isn't the same as how you switch between Ghostbusters, A-Team members, Goonies, or Fantastic Beastie Boys. Like the others, you have to beat the level first. Then, you need to enter the Doctor Who world. Instead of holding a button and waiting for the red circle to do its thing, you must
kill yourself now.
After dying, the 12th Doctor will regenerate into the 1st Doctor. Next, enter the TARDIS and press this button. The 1st Doctor is now saved, and you can switch to him by entering the TARDIS whenever you want. Repeat this process until you cycle back to the 12th Doctor. Doing this doesn't just unlock the 13 Doctors. The TARDIS music and interior will change based on which Doctor you're playing as. Or which interior and/or music you selected. Character interactions/reactions. Putting certain characters together can sometimes lead to them interacting in some way. Usually this leads to a mythology gag of some kind. Though sometimes they just use a stock clip from whatever media the character is from. It works great for some characters, but it's kinda boring for others.
I'll have no pointy out outscoring me! I'll have no pointy out outscoring me!
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall.
I think I take the dragon right now.
It's not just characters interacting with characters. Characters can sometimes have unique reactions to specific vehicles. Unlike Injustice 2, only some characters will interact with each other. GLaDOS ending song. Portal 1 and 2 both have end credits accompanied by GLaDOS singing a song written by Jonathan Coulton. Portal 1 ends with the song Still Alive. In Still Alive, GLaDOS sings about how despite Chell's actions, she isn't dead, she regrets nothing because it was for science, and she's even willing to forgive Chell. You can actually hear an instrumental remix of this song on radios throughout Portal, Portal 2, and LEGO Dimensions.
This was a triumph. I'm making a note here, huge success.
Portal 2 ends with GLaDOS singing Want You Gone. In Want You Gone, GLaDOS angrily sings about how she wants Chell to leave and never come back. Though there are parts of the song that imply she will miss Chell just a little. As one final bit of fan service, LEGO Dimensions ends with a GLaDOS song of its own. In this song, titled You Wouldn't Know, GLaDOS sings about how she now misses Chell and wants her to come back. This is probably the least spiteful song from GLaDOS. To add a cherry to this cake of fan service, Jonathan Coulton came back to write this song. Cliffhanger ending. LEGO Dimensions has a post-credit scene. However, unlike other LEGO games, it's not a joke. In this scene, a mysterious figure appears on Foundation Prime. He walks up to a piece of Vortech that our heroes forgot to account for. After picking it up, the piece merges with him and his voice even morphs into Vortex. We then hear Vortex laugh and the game cuts to black. I remember people theorizing who this guy could be. Since his hand is so distinct, people often looked at existing LEGO figures as a reference. Though considering LEGO is willing to acquire franchises that have never been made into LEGO before, it could be anyone. Some have wondered if what we're actually seeing takes place before the events of the game, but I don't think that's what's going on here. I'm certain that this scene was added to tease a potential sequel where Vortech returns and causes more chaos. Unfortunately, this sequel never happened due to cancellation. In September of 2017, it was officially announced that LEGO Dimensions had been cancelled. The commonly accepted answer as to why is low sales. It was clear that Toys to Life was a dying genre, with both Skylanders and Disney Infinity being cancelled a year earlier. Today, the only thing remaining of the Toys to Life genre is Amiibo. And even then, you don't need Amiibo in order to play a game. So that's probably why they're still around. Using info from this article, Just Too Good's videos, and Ashen Flash's videos, I've compiled a list of every scrapped franchise from Year 1, Year 2, the cancelled Year 3, and other stuff. Keep in mind, some of these don't have an official source, and not all of them were cancelled because of low sales. Angry Birds, the Arrowverse, which only received Comic-Con exclusive figures and a secret area. Avatar or Avatar The Last Airbender, there's conflicting reports. The former would later receive an official line of sets, and the latter only had 2 sets way back in 2006. However, recently, Avatar The Last Airbender came to LEGO Fortnite. Captain Underpants, The Croods, the DCEU, which got short DLC levels in LEGO DC Supervillains. Despicable Me, Godzilla, How to Train Your Dragon, King Kong, the LEGO Ninjago movie, which ended up getting a game of its own. Looney Tunes, Mega Man, Minecraft, which may or may not have been tied into Minecraft story mode, Pirates of the Caribbean, Shrek, The Smurfs, possibly connected to the Smurfs' Lost Village, Steven Universe, Thunderbirds, Tintin, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Tom and Jerry, and Cum. Cancelled Year 1 and 2 packs. While I already went over the many cancelled franchises that were going to be a part of LEGO Dimensions, Year 1 and 2 had many cancelled figures that were a part of franchises already in the game. According to Just Too Good and Ashen Flash, Missy from Doctor Who was cancelled. A Teen Titans Go level pack would have featured Robin. The other 3 Mystery Inc. members were considered. The LEGO Batman movie story pack was supposed to have Batman and the Joker instead of Batgirl and Robin. The Goonies level pack was supposed to be a team pack that would have included Chunk. Ron Weasley would have been in a team pack with Hermione, but she ended up having a fun pack all to herself. An unknown DC set was considered. Jillian Holtzman would have been a part of the Ghostbusters 2016 story pack, and Rowan North, presumably in his ghost form, would have had a fun pack. Lord Vortech Fun Pack. One of the many cancelled packs was a Lord Vortech Fun Pack. It would have been the final pack released, and he would have unlocked every dimension as well as one of his own. Unfortunately, this pack was scrapped. However, you can find unused dialogue in the game's files that likely would have been a part of this.
I have more pressing matters to attend to. An impressive show of strength. See that it does not disappoint me. This primitive device should pose no problem for Lord Vortech to use.
Glitches. LEGO Dimensions is known by many as one of the buggiest LEGO games of all time. Here's some glitches that I came across while playing. If you switch between chase disguises over a ledge in the Maitland model, instead of dying, you'll clip out of bounds. Finn the Human is swinging on nothing. Ethan Hunt was stuck on the toy pad despite the fact that I took him off, resulting in this image. The gyrosphere spawned all the way over here for some reason, and it wouldn't move when I got in. This problem continued for the rest of my playthrough. Simpsons characters didn't speak out loud, though their text boxes were still mostly okay. The game uses the same few models for a lot of NPCs in Adventure Worlds, making it look like that one scene from The Matrix. When I was 13, I discovered that Sonic can do this in the LEGO Batman movie Adventure World. And of course, I suffered just so many crashes. TTG Robin and TTG Cyborg. Placing Cyborg or Robin onto the toy pad in the Teen Titans Go Adventure World will turn them into the TTG version of themselves. Unlike LEGO Batman, you don't need a red brick to always be the TTG versions. After placing them on the toy pad while in the TTG world, you can switch between versions whenever and wherever you want. This means that every Titan is playable in the game. On top of that, putting all 5 Titans on the toy pad together will lead to an entire conversation between them.
Man, is anyone else sick of doing busy work for complete strangers? I'm tired!
Yeah, why can't they collect these so-called gold bricks themselves?
Titans, think about what you're saying. performing basic tasks for the good of the city is what being a hero is all about.
What? I thought being a hero was about the perks.
Raven, how could you say such a thing? A good deed is a reward in itself.
But friend Robin, I thought you said that you were in it for the money.
Well,
Yeah, that's why I do it.
And me?
Me too.
I specifically request the bills or the cashier's checks.
Okay. Let's face it. We're all in it for the money!
I am missing having the opposable thumbs.
Honestly, guys, I don't know why, but this episode just hasn't ended yet.
Maybe we can fix it by collecting more gold bricks, right? Right?
When will it end?
Year 2 cameos. Throughout the Year 2 level and story packs, there are multiple cameos from other franchises that are a part of both Year 1 and 2. It's not just puzzles you need other characters to solve in order to get a min kit or gold brick. There's numerous within the canon cutscenes. Sometimes there's a neat connection, such as the Wicked Witch of the West appearing in the Fantastic Beasts world and the Gremlins in the Goonies world.
Just like that last prank about all those little creatures that multiply when you throw water on them.
Batman, Gandalf, and Wildstyle even show up as pickle statues in the Powerpuff Girls 2016 dimension in the background of the Adventure Time level pack, and they even speak in the Sonic level pack, though it's only audio clips from Year 1.
You're back! Where did these guys come from?
Another rift. Shall we?
See you later, alligator.
I'm Batman.
Shall we?
See you later, alligator.
I'm Batman.
The Goonies level pack even accidentally recreates that one scene from Ready Player One. The implication of all of this is either that the events of the main campaign caused a bunch of anomalies from other dimensions to be shuffled around, or the Year 2 packs take place at the same time as the main game. It's more likely the first one, since the pickle statues were probably built to honor the heroes who saved the multiverse. The former could also give us a canonical explanation for certain Easter eggs in other LEGO games. The cancelled Year 3 might have had an actual explanation for this, but who knows. LEGO Batman's Baggage. One of the quests you complete in the LEGO Movie Adventure World is titled The Dark Knight Philosophizes. This is a play on The Dark Knight Rises. In this quest, you catch Batman having an existential crisis about another Batman existing in a parallel universe. He also comments about the other Batman's maneuverable limbs. This is a joke about how LEGO characters move in media. In the LEGO Movie franchise, everything moves like actual LEGO pieces would if it was stop-motion animation. Characters in other LEGO media, on the other hand, move however the hell they want. LEGO Dimensions also abides by this rule.
I don't know who the stiff is. Hey.
Batman then sees 20 bad guys that you need to help him fight. After defeating them, Batman feels that he is the true Batman. Batman then fake offers you to be his sidekick, which, come to think of it, is accidental foreshadowing, and rewards you with a gold brick. HAL 9000. In the level Aperture Science Enrichment Center, you must use the Locate Keystone to defeat GLaDOS. The character you summon is the HAL 9000, aka the villainous AI from Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey. HAL proceeds to have a long argument with GLaDOS. Despite this cameo being in the main story, there is no dimension for 2001 A Space Odyssey. This was likely only put in here for fun. The Octopus. In the Goonies level, you are required to face an octopus multiple times. The octopus is finally defeated once you soothe it with royalty-free 80s-inspired music. This seems out of place considering the octopus doesn't come from another dimension and it wasn't in the Goonies. Even the characters in the game comment on the absurdity.
You okay, Andy?
Yeah, but let's not tell anyone that we used music to defeat an octopus. It's too stupid. No one will ever believe us.
Yeah, you're right. It'll be like it never happened.
Well, Data is still gonna tell everyone.
Despite how random it may feel, the octopus was actually in a deleted scene from the Goonies. Even more ridiculous is that the octopus is defeated with music in both mediums. I'm assuming that the Walkman in the movie isn't just a regular Walkman because this is Data. His whole gimmick is having a gadget for every unlikely situation. The scene was removed because it was dumb.
And my second question is about the Goonies, the octopus deleted scene. Whose idea was that? And was that Richard Donner's? Was that Spielberg?
Well, it was in the original Chris Columbus script, The Octopus.
Chris Columbus?
Well, I don't know whose idea. I mean, it was in the
script.
It was in the script. So I don't know, like, if they broke the story together and then he went and wrote the script based on their, you know, I mean, you can sit in a room with the guys and you can put ideas down and then somebody's got to go.
It's so out of place for, like, the tone of the movie. This is like...
Well, there was cool stuff. The octopus just always sucked. It just did. I mean, and they brought it out. Actually, this happened with Shelob too. They brought the Shelob's belly out, like a practical belly, and you're like, yeah, no, that cannot be like that. You can't. No, it's come on. And they pushed the technology, and Shelob was completely computer generated, but in a way that was like just so awesome. But yeah, the octopus was terrible. The thing about it is I think they were like smoking a lot of pot.
Although the scene was deleted, the octopus appears in the original Goonies video game, and Data mentions it in the final cut.
The octopus was Forrest Gump.
Xbox portals. Like Skylanders and Disney Infinity, you don't need specific LEGO Dimensions figures depending on which console you own. Every available figure works on every available console. The toy pad is a different story. The toy pad that comes with most versions of the game is cross-platform compatible. However, the Xbox 360 and Xbox One need the toy pad that comes with their version of the game. I don't understand why, especially considering the fact that they look exactly the same. This was either a mistake or an elaborate way of selling more games. The Wii U version is inferior. The Wii U version is often viewed as the worst version of the game in terms of performance. Sonic the Hedgehog is the best way to show this. I have no idea how 13-year-old me tolerated the Wii U version. Paul Feig. In every level, you're required to rescue a famous character. Only if you're trying to 100% complete the game, of course. Unlike regular levels, the story packs use the same character over and over. For LEGO Batman, it's Menial Task Mike. For Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, it's Modesty. And for Ghostbusters 2016, it's Paul Feig. Paul Feig stands out here since he's a real guy. For those unaware, Paul Feig is the director of Ghostbusters 2016. In other words, this game continues the LEGO tradition of having a real crew member make an appearance. Though in this game you can't play as Paul Feig. Paul Feig in this game is also voiced by the real Paul Feig.
This gives me a great idea for a movie.
Paul Feig also makes multiple references to the discourse surrounding Ghostbusters 2016.
Man, I gotta stay off the internet. And I thought the internet was harsh. I wonder if they'd be mad if I remade Back to the Future.
As an additional piece of trivia, in the level Breaking the Barrier, the theater marquee advertises 2 movies. Ghost Smashers 3 and Groomsmen. Both of those sound really gross now that I'm saying them out loud. Ghost Smashers 3 is a reference to the elusive Ghostbusters 3 that for the longest time never happened until it did. The fact that Ghostbusters 2016 is technically the 3rd Ghostbusters film, if we don't go by canonicity, and one of the working titles of the original Ghostbusters. This isn't the only Ghost Smashers reference in the game. Speaking of newer Ghostbusters films, this game accidentally predicted the flying trap from Frozen Empire.
Ghost traps attached to aerial drones. That might work.
Groomsmen is a gender-bent version of Bridesmaids, another film directed by Paul Feig and also starring Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy. This is also a joke about how Ghostbusters 2016 in and of itself is a gender-bent version of Ghostbusters the original. Thestrals. In the Wizarding world, Thestrals are winged horses that can only be seen by those who have witnessed death. One of the quests in the Harry Potter adventure world is titled A Quest for Thestrals. In said quest, Luna Lovegood asks you to find 3 Thestrals that she lost track of. To make the Thestrals appear, you must use a scanner belonging to either Wildstyle, Bad Cop, or Chase McCain. After doing this, the Thestrals will return to Luna Lovegood. Some have wondered if the reason why only these characters can reveal Thestrals is because they all saw someone die. I believe it's more likely to be related to the scanners they use, since Luna tells you that there's probably other ways to see Thestrals. Also, these 3 are not the only playable characters in the game who have canonically seen someone die. In fact, most of the playable characters in this game have canonically seen someone die. Titanic Easter Egg. One of the star attractions of the Ghostbusters Adventure World is the Titanic. At the tip of the Titanic, you can find 2 skeletons. One with red hair doing a crucifix pose and the other holding her. This is a reference to the famous scene from James Cameron's Titanic. Marty is useless. Despite Marty McFly being a required character in order to 100% complete the game, he's quite possibly the worst character in the game. The only special ability he has is shattering glass. For about the same price, you can get Andy, Benny, Bubbles, Homer Simpson, Jake the Dog, Laval, Marceline the Vampire Queen, Slimer, or the Doctor. All of these characters can shatter glass and more. Hell, the Batmobile can shatter glass with an upgrade, and that comes with the game. Come to think of it, most of the vehicles and gadgets in the game can shatter glass with an upgrade. Actor ads. As a build-up to the game's release, multiple ads were released, starring a famous actor playing either themselves or their character from the game. With the exception of Scooby-Doo, they're all live action. In every ad, someone, usually from the previous ad, delivers a mysterious glowing box to a famous character/actor/actress. The box's receiver would then open it, see that the character included is them, and then build the gateway inside. After building the gateway, they'd place their character on it, activating the portal, and then we'd see some gameplay clips. The order of delivery goes as follows. Someone delivers a box to Joel McHale.
Delivery!
Joel McHale delivers a box to Doc Brown.
Delivery!
Doc Brown delivers a box to Chell, played by Alicia Glidewell, aka the inspiration for Chell's design.
Delivery!
GLaDOS delivers a box to Scooby and Shaggy.
Delivery.
Oh, time for a Scooby snack.
And Shaggy delivers a box to Allison Brie.
Delivery!
Hello?
Wildstyle's fear of ghosts. In the level The Phantom Zone, it's implied that Wildstyle is afraid of ghosts. Despite this, Batman and Gandalf are perfectly fine with them.
Hey, accursed pilfering phantasm! Ghosts.
Ghosts?
Surely you're not scared of a few specters?
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
He said it! He said it!
TV Tropes proposes a possible explanation for this. While Batman and Gandalf have fought alongside ghosts, Wildstyle has not. TV Tropes also brings up how Wildstyle's mentor, Vitruvius, died and became a ghost. I don't think that's relevant, since Wildstyle doesn't seem to mind that Vitruvius is a ghost at the end of the Lego movie, and from what I can tell, Dimension seems to take place before Vitruvius died, but who knows. Potter Memorial Statue. One of the restorations in the Harry Potter dimension is the Potter Memorial Statue. The wizard who you give the studs to tells you that muggles and wizards see it completely differently. Testing this out led fans to discover that wizards and witches see James, Lily, and baby Harry Potter, while muggles see a big pointy thing. This doesn't apply to just characters in the wizarding world. Every magic user in the game can see the statue. Surprisingly, this statue is in the books and works exactly the same, but doesn't appear in any of the movies. Ghostbusters cross-compatibility. Despite being from different continuities, Ghostbusters characters and Ghostbusters 2016 characters can unlock each other's dimensions. However, you still need Peter Venkman and Abby Yates to unlock levels to 100% complete the game. While this feature is neat, I do find it kinda weird since these films aren't connected. What's weirder is that the LEGO movie characters can't unlock the LEGO Batman movie dimension, and Harry Potter characters can't unlock the Fantastic Beasts dimension, and vice versa. These movies are connected to each other, yet no one character can unlock both of them. I can understand doing this for LEGO Batman since while it is technically in the same continuity, it at least feels like a separate universe. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is meant to be the start of a series of prequels leading up to the Harry Potter films. So why are these separate dimensions? Why not let us travel between these two using the Time Turner or something? Top Gun references. At the beginning of the Mission Impossible level pack, Jim Phelps is watching a film titled Cinema of the Ukraine. The tape begins with a clip of a shirtless Ethan Hunt playing volleyball with a goose. This is a reference to the sweaty shirtless beach volleyball scene from Top Gun. The connection is that Tom Cruise is a part of both franchises. Another Top Gun Easter egg is found in the Gremlins dimension. At the Kingston Falls Theater, a film titled Top Stud is advertised outside. Bart's silence. Bart Simpson is one of 2 playable characters in LEGO Dimensions to not have any dialogue or grunts. They don't even use archived audio from The Simpsons. Bart is just silent. I can understand doing this with Chell since she never spoke in her own franchise, but one of the main character traits of Bart Simpson is that he can't stop talking. This often leads him to trouble. So, why is this the case? Well, it could be because Bart Simpson's voice actress, Nancy Cartwright, is a known Scientologist. This could explain why other characters voiced by Nancy Cartwright remain silent as well. The main hole in this theory is that Tom Cruise is also a vocal Scientologist, and his likeness and voice are in the game, though it's only through archived audio clips. On top of that, many other characters in The Simpsons that aren't voiced by Nancy Cartwright also don't make a sound, making the entire dimension kind of feel like a ghost town. So who knows why Bart doesn't speak? Maybe it was a copyright issue. PPG x TTG references. On June 30th, 2016, Cartoon Network aired an episode of Teen Titans Go titled TTG vs. PPG. The episode was a crossover between Teen Titans Go and Powerpuff Girls 2016. A little over a year later, these 2 superhero teams would cross paths again in LEGO Dimensions. Thanks to the meta nature of LEGO Dimensions' humor, this crossover is referenced multiple times throughout the game. TARDIS Secret Dimensions. Throughout the game, you can find multiple TARDIS panels that lead to secret areas with things to collect. While most of these take you to a Doctor Who themed area, or the same area you're in just in a different time period, some of them contain something extra special. There are 4 TARDIS panels that take you to dimensions that are nowhere else in the game. These dimensions are the Flintstones, the Jetsons, the Arrowverse, and Red Dwarf. I've never heard of that last one until now. The Arrowverse sticks out the most since the Arrowverse was one of the many cancelled franchises for LEGO Dimensions. There's also an unused character icon for the CW Flash inside the game's files. Emulation quality. Throughout the game, you come across these arcade panels. In order to activate them, you need the arcade machine. Activating them will allow you to play an arcade game and unlock said game in the Midway arcade dimension. These arcade games are emulated to match the original versions. They're of surprisingly high quality, with a lot of them including multiplayer and analog control. Orange toy tags. Figures from Year 1 come with blue toy tags, while figures from Year 2 come with orange toy tags. It's also been said that orange toy tags denote which characters can unlock a battle arena. Some have theorized that Year 3 toy tags were going to be pink, since the other two colors of the chroma keystone were kind of already used for Year 1 and 2. The LEGO Movie Timeline. While playing the game, I was confused as to where in the LEGO Movie Timeline Wildstyle was taken. Emmett no longer has the piece of resistance on his back or the tracker on his ankle, leading me to believe that it takes place after the first movie, but before the second movie since Wildstyle still has black hair. However, Cloud Cuckoo Land is still here, even though it was destroyed in the first movie. I guess it could have been rebuilt since then, so we'll let that slide. Where it starts to get confusing is Lord Business. He's still evil and sending out micromanagers, despite the fact that he was redeemed at the end of the first movie. A possible explanation for this is that Vortech can pull people in from different time periods, similar to the villains in No Way Home. That could work, but Wildstyle doesn't seem to be confused as to why Business is still evil. In fact, she still dislikes him a lot. So now I'm leaning towards this game taking place at the same time as the LEGO Movie. The main characters just stopped their plans to save the world to have a dance-off. Who are you guys? MCU Spider-Man? However, Emmett doesn't have the piece of resistance on him, nor does he have the tracker. So it can't take place during the first movie, since Emmett doesn't have his appendages, but it also can't take place after because Lord Business is still a bad guy? I know I'm probably the only person who cares about this, but Jesus Christ, you could have just given Emmett the piece and tracker and we wouldn't have this problem. Look, I know Dimensions isn't canon to the LEGO Movie franchise, or almost all of the other properties it connects to. However, some version of the LEGO Movie is canon to LEGO Dimensions. As of right now, I'm going to assume that LEGO Dimensions branches off from the middle of the LEGO Movie, and assume that the lack of Emmett's accessories was a mistake. Meet That Hero! Meet That Hero was a series of shorts released on YouTube to promote Year 2. It would usually have a newer character that children have actually heard of talk about an older character that's being added to Year 2. I think these were made with stop motion, but it could also be the same technology as the LEGO movies or LEGO animators on YouTube. Crossing the Streams. Crossing the Streams is a quest in the Ghostbusters 2016 dimension named after Egon's most important safety tip.
Don't cross the streams.
Side note, crossing the streams in LEGO Dimensions doesn't do anything. 1 point to the NES game. In the quest, Holtzman asks you to help her fix a mysterious hunk of junk. She believes that it may require interdimensional travel. After accepting the quest, she gives you a RIP keystone that can send you to one of two dimensions. One where the ghosts are the ones doing the busting, and one containing the original Ghostbusters. After completing some puzzles, you must return to the 2016 dimension. Egon Spengler will follow you for some reason. I think it's related to the actor having been recently deceased at the time. Holtzman will then thank you for your help and provide you with a gold brick. This adventure is similar to the comic where the 2016 Ghostbusters meet the original Ghostbusters via interdimensional shenanigans. The Pulsebusters are likely a reference to the People Busters from the real Ghostbusters. GLaDOS scolds you for flying. If you fly in a portal level, or the Portal Adventure World, GLaDOS will scold you for it.
I suppose you think you're clever. Circumventing my meticulously planned tests with your ability to fly. If you're happy cheating yourself, then of course that's entirely your prerogative. But I hope you realize that such behavior is of no benefit to science. Unless you're using science to fly. Actually, how are you flying?
As Rugged Eagle said, this is likely a jab at people who abuse flying characters in LEGO games. However, their guilt trip did not work on me. I used flight to get this achievement. Suck my dick. Wicked references. During the first boss fight with the Wicked Witch of the West, Wildstyle says this.
That broomstick of hers, it's defying gravity somehow.
This is a reference to the song Defying Gravity from the musical prequel/remake Wicked. A more obvious Wicked reference can be found when you put Elfie and Unikitty together.
If you spent more time singing, you wouldn't feel so wicked, witch.
Unused Sonic characters. Multiple unused Sonic characters were found within the game's files. These characters are all members of Team Chaotix, aka Vector the Crocodile, Espio the Chameleon, and Charmy Bee. The reason for them being unused is unknown at the moment.
Censoring. Due to copyright rules being annoying and some of these properties not being meant for kids, a lot of stuff had to be censored. Let's go through all of the interesting ones I found. Obviously, all instances of profanity were either removed or changed.
Well, I figured. What the hell?
Well, I figured. What the heck?
Including B.A. Baracus' name.
The BA stands for
Bad Attitude!
The Hill Valley Theater is no longer advertising American style. The Libyans are now referred to as guerrillas instead of nationalists. J.C. Penney is now C.J. Perry. Doc's death is much more explicitly fake than it was in the movie. Jaws 19 is now Bruce 19. This is an in-joke about how on the set of Jaws, the shark had two nicknames. The Great White Turd, in reference to how the damn thing barely worked, and Bruce, in reference to Steven Spielberg's lawyer. The film is also no longer directed by Max Spielberg, aka Steven Spielberg's firstborn son. In the movie, the Inferno Room is Dante's Inferno Room. I guess this was changed because Dante's Inferno Room is a reference to Dante's Inferno, a story about a poet descending into the 9 circles of hell. Kinda dark for a kid's game. In the movie, the Inferno Room advertises girls, while in the game it advertises food. Beetlejuice mentions that he's marrying the Dietz's daughter, but he leaves out the part about her being... yeah.
It's a green card thing!
In the E.T. dimension, you can find multiple candy bowls full of definitely not Reese's Pieces. Michael's costume no longer has the axe in the head, though this guy isn't actually Michael, it's somebody you mistake for him. In the quest, Federal Seizure, Michael asks you to bring him 10 walkie-talkies. After doing this, Michael informs you that he plans on swapping them with the feds' weapons. This is a joke about how some versions of E.T. replace the FBI's guns with walkie-talkies. I know that one's not a censor, but it's worth mentioning. Ray's Occult Books has been changed to Ray's Bookstore on Science and the Paranormal. Instead of eating Baby Ruths, Sloth eats non-specific chocolate bars. Rockin' Ricky Rialto has no glasses and a pirate hat instead of a fedora. This was likely done to make him less resemble Indiana Jones. Burger King is now just Burgers. The YMCA is now the Kingston Falls Leisure Center. Mrs. Deagle survives her wheelchair malfunction, unlike the movie. The Gremlins are now watching Stud Silver and the 7 Microfigures instead of Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Gizmo's car that comes in the box is red instead of pink, though there is a pink skin in the game that makes it more resemble the car from the movie. There was probably a copyright rule that prevented them from making a toy out of the car, since the car in the movie is a Barbie-themed car. This also affects Funko Pops. Luna Lovegood tells you that in order to see Thestrals, you need to have seen something very bad happen. In the books and movies, that something is death. Masrani survives his helicopter crash, unlike the movie. In the first Mission Impossible, Jack calls Ethan Foghorn, while in the game he doesn't call him anything.
Tell me, Senator, do you not have someone on your staff named Jack?
Jack? Well, if we did have a Jack.
An unreliable fellow, as I recall, constantly late.
And behind in his work. I forced to tie him behind one of my best stallions.
And drag him around
my barn for a few days.
Relax your crack, Foghorn. I'm working on it.
Tell me, sir, did you ever have anyone working for you by the name of Jack?
An unreliable fellow, as I recall, constantly late.
Okay, just relax. I'm working on it. It's not easy doing what I do, you know.
The team's deaths are cut in a way that's more humorous than violent.
Hey.
Cut the power. Man down.
And Jim, Claire, and Krager are all alive. Mature themes. Despite censors being made to get an E rating, there's still quite a few things that were allowed in this game. Multiple characters have real guns. These weeping angels used to scare the shit out of me when I was younger. Expo fucking dies. Sure, the doctor fixes him, but his corpse remains on Vorton until you complete the End is Try. In the Adventure Time world, you can use the TARDIS to go back in time and meet a younger Marceline being raised by a man named Simon. Adult Marceline also mentions this Simon. If you know, you know. The Dietzes, and whoever you play as, might have died since we're in the Netherworld.
If you want to enter the Netherworld, first, you gotta die.
Only time will tell. There's a reference to the Sixth Sense. One of the restorations in the DC dimension is a statue featuring Superman with a bird perched on his arm. In the comics, this statue was a memorial created after Doomsday killed Superman. Superman also vocally references this event.
I fought someone your size once before, but it didn't exactly go so well.
One of Bane's special moves is picking up an enemy and slamming them onto his knee. This is a reference to Batman number 497, where he does the same thing to Batman and incapacitates him. It also happens in The Dark Knight Rises. And Lego Batman the video game, canonically. Newt and Tina are sentenced to death in the horrifying goo pit. Louis Tully says that his party is a bit of a sausage fest, which means a place, event, or group that mostly consists of dudes. The sausage part means dick. To be fair, after this, Louis states that he meant if accountants were sausages. But either way, we now have an official Lego game that references a penis. Roman commits suicide. He still comes back as a ghost, but he did that. A lot of people talk about this scene in the original Lego Batman game, but that was just a joke. This actually happens. Oh, but saying hell is too much, apparently. Mikey and Andy's accidental makeout session is referenced. Murray's nationalism is much more toned down, though they do lightly reference his racism.
I've no interest in these kind of, foreign objects.
You gotta watch out for the foreigners, because they plant gremlins in their machinery.
Somebody says that he heard the fire brigade had to pull a guy dressed as Santa out of a chimney. While he doesn't say if the Santa was dead or not, it's kind of implied if you've seen Gremlins. I cannot think of a more perfect time for this meme. Characters from The Matrix show up. That movie is rated R. Oracle's base can be found in the clock tower in the Lego Batman movie Adventure World. In the comics, Barbara Gordon becomes Oracle after the Joker takes away her ability to walk and does other things to her. I don't think this means that this version of the Joker will do the same thing to this version of Barbara Gordon. Oracle is also name-dropped by Batman.
Oracle, how do I beat this thing? I'll just keep hitting it.
And this is the Lego Traveler's Tales version of Batman. Did some version of the Killing Joke happen in that universe? Is that why this costume is in the first Lego Batman game? Probably not, since Batgirl seems to be fine and walking in media that canonically takes place after this game. Though it's worth noting that this version of the Joker has the same Red Hood origin as in the Killing Joke, though said origin might have been made up in both versions. Arkham Knight reference. Multiple R-rated Arnold movies are referenced by Albert Spindlerouter. Jack and Sarah are definitely killed. The Tails doll is referenced by Sonic and also makes a physical appearance. For those unaware, the Tails doll is an unlockable character in Sonic R and also a weird creepypasta. There's a side quest in the Sonic dimension that involves placing flowers to honor the deceased Maria, and the Tin Man might have gotten a boner.
Oh my! This metallic madam has definitely stirred something inside this tin chest of mine!
Amorality Core. Near the end of the game, Batman, Gandalf, and Wildstyle must gather all of the heroes they've met during their journey in order to stop Lord Vortech. However, they have to recruit one villain, GLaDOS. At first, GLaDOS says no and even tries to kill them. She also brags about how she has no guilt because her morality core was replaced by an amorality core. For those who don't remember, the morality core was installed to prevent GLaDOS from flooding Aperture Science with neurotoxin. However, it doesn't help because, like a lot of humans, GLaDOS chooses to ignore her conscience and floods Aperture with neurotoxin. At the end of Portal 1, Chell accidentally destroys the morality core, resulting in a more sinister GLaDOS. After GLaDOS brags about the amorality core, Wildstyle removes it and replaces it with a new and improved morality core. This morality core physically restrains GLaDOS from doing anything immoral, though she says it doesn't affect her thoughts. However, the song You Wouldn't Know implies otherwise. In the mid-credits scene, someone, probably Batman, gives GLaDOS the amorality core back. I have no idea why Batman would do this, considering he knows what the amorality core does, but that's not the point. What is the point is that it's unclear where this amorality core came from since it wasn't mentioned in any media before LEGO Dimensions. My best explanation is that GLaDOS somehow built it herself. Futurama. In the level Meltdown at Sector 7G, Springfield is attacked by micromanagers. Once our heroes arrive at the power plant, there's a short visual gag where Mr. Burns changes the Days Without Otherworldly Invasion sign from 323 to 0. This is a reference to the Simpsons episode Simpsorama, in which the Simpsons cross over with Futurama. The episode aired 322 days before the release date of LEGO Dimensions. It would have been really awkward if this game got delayed. This gag also implies that there's a LEGO Futurama somewhere in the Dimensions multiverse. Come to think of it, The Simpsons also allows us to connect Family Guy, American Dad, Rick and Morty, Gravity Falls, Star vs. the Forces of Evil, The Owl House, Amphibia, and Space Jam: A New Legacy.
I did it, Morty! I killed the versions of us that were in Space Jam!
Come to think of it, Teen Titans Go is also in the same multiverse as like a million other Cartoon Network shows thanks to the crossover Nexus special. It's also in the same multiverse as the DCAU, which is also connected to Brave and the Bold, which is connected to Scooby-Doo, which is connected to the Scooby-Doo multiverse. And the DCAU is also connected to the Ninja Turtles, which has its own multiverse. And, I'd go deeper, but we'd be here all day. And just the Fortnite meme, Tommy Westphal universe. Watch these two videos. I don't fucking know. Just almost anything is connected to LEGO Dimensions somehow through some very long, complicated chain of multiverse stuff. Everything except Saw. GamerKid borderline infringement. GamerKid has two shirts that directly copy sprites from Mario and Minecraft, respectively. In addition to that, the basement theme in the level Retro Wreckage contains identical percussion to the Super Mario Bros. Underground theme. While Minecraft might have been okay, since that was one of the cancelled franchises, the Mario sprite could have resulted in a lawsuit from Nintendo. And Nintendo are assholes. Though I don't know what the legality of this is, considering the sprites only vaguely resemble the other sprites, and similar percussions are used kind of a lot in music.
The original theme song is alright, but the main guitar riff that the show uses for transitions is ripped straight from the beginning of Bastille Day by Rush. Why they didn't get sued for this is beyond me.
The soundtrack here sounds exactly like a Green Day song.
Okay, come on.
Oh wow, the lyrics fit too. And that in itself is funny because 21 Guns has a melody from Full House. Roll it. So yeah, that's how the Purge Anarchy connects to Full F***ing House.
The Lego Movie 2 Foreshadowing. LEGO Dimensions has some, possibly intentional and possibly not, foreshadowing to the Lego Movie 2, the second part. Mayor Hubert and GLaDOS both riff on Wildstyle's hair. Wildstyle also acts more cutesy than usual. In the second movie, we find out that she used to sing, dance, have colorful hair, and that she was one of the creators of Everything is Awesome. It's also implied that she sat in a mirror in shame, took a permanent marker, and hair by hair recolored her hair. Emmett and Owen also have a "you look familiar" moment.
Hey, you seem familiar. Have we met? I don't know. Did you work on the park?
You sound like Emmett, but you're not the special.
This is obviously a joke about how both characters are voiced by Chris Pratt. The Lego Movie 2 would have Emmett meet another doppelganger in the form of Rex Dangervest, a combination of multiple Chris Pratt characters including Star-Lord, Indiana Jones, Josh Faraday, Owen Grady, Scott Hatterberg, Emmett Brakowski, and just the real Chris Pratt. There's also multiple themes in the Lego Movie 2 that didn't exist before Dimensions. These include Beetlejuice, The Wizard of Oz, and Doctor Who. This last one is likely a coincidence, but it's still worth noting. Banarnar is voiced by Ben Schwartz. Ben Schwartz would later voice Sonic the Hedgehog in the live-action films.
This is my nightmare! I had a dream about this, don't look at me! Ha! That sly little
Sonic the Hedgehog is in LEGO Dimensions. Duplicate dialogue. Putting two toy tags of the same character on the toy pad will result in a unique line of dialogue. This is an interesting detail, but I have no idea who would try this if they didn't know, since it requires you to buy a pack that you already own. At least that's what TT Games wants you to do. Half-Life. The Half-Life franchise is about a world overrun by space aliens and a resistance that wishes to fight said space aliens. The series is implied to take place in the same universe as Portal due to Black Mesa being referenced in Portal and Aperture Science being referenced in Half-Life. As such, LEGO Dimensions also references Half-Life with in-game dialogue and background Easter eggs. Save points. LEGO Dimensions used to have save points that you were required to interact with if you wanted to save your progress in a single level. A lot of LEGO games from this era had this, since the levels were starting to get longer and longer. An update removed save points and replaced them with autosave. You saying that this game could do it but not Security Breach? Console differences. Consoles of the previous generation had some notable downgrades in their version of Dimensions. Here are some examples. There are more cars in most Adventure Worlds, there are more dinosaurs on Jurassic World, the frame rate takes a hit a lot easier, and the catapult to the shard was replaced with a portal. This explains why in every version of LEGO Dimensions, selecting a Year 2 dimension just sends you to the catapult instead of the gateway. Gandalf's stop sign. The starter pack comes with a warning. Stop! If you're having technical problems with LEGO Dimensions, do not return it. Instead, contact customer service. They will be helpful, we promise. The stop is visualized with a stop sign being held by Gandalf. Beta Rift. The rifts in the official trailer look different from the rifts in the final game. In the trailer, rifts have little bricks flying through them and look more like the interiors of the in-game rifts. Honestly, I prefer the beta designs over the final ones since they're more unique. Mystery Dimension Character Glitch. In the Mystery Dimension, place down a character that you haven't saved a vehicle for yet. Hold the character switch button, select the instruction manual, hit back, and this happens. A character selection screen shows up, allowing you to play as whoever you want, regardless of if you own them or not. This feature was likely going to be a normal part of the game before LEGO Dimensions was changed to a Toys to Life game. Unfortunately, the glitch was removed in an update. Kinda pointless if you ask me, since the glitch was only accessible in the Mystery Dimension and nowhere else. It's almost as if Warner Brothers didn't want us to have fun. LEGO Batman Parallels. Halfway through the Lego Batman movie, the Joker escapes from the Phantom Zone and brings with him many other evildoers. These include Agent Smiths, Bruce, the Daleks, General Zod, Gremlins, King Kong, the Kraken, Lord Vampire, Lord Voldemort, Medusa, the Mummy, Sauron, Skeleton Warriors from Jason and the Argonauts, the Swamp Creature, the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, the Velociraptors from Jurassic Park, and the Wicked Witch of the West. You may have noticed that quite a few of those villains are already a part of or were going to be a part of LEGO Dimensions. In some cases, these franchises didn't have a LEGO theme until LEGO Dimensions. So, was this an elaborate cross-promotion, or just a coincidence? Well, the director, Chris McKay, specifically requested a lot of these cameos, so it's likely the latter. After all, it's not like Dimensions developers were the only fans of these properties. Atari 2600. In the Beetlejuice dimension, you can escort an excavator to this area here. Once you're done with that, you'll be rewarded with a gold brick and these spots to dig up. Under these piles of dirt is an Atari 2600, complete with a cartridge for LEGO Dimensions. For those unaware, the Atari 2600 is a video game console from the late 70s and early 80s. It's one of the oldest home consoles of all time. While this is neat, I'm kinda confused as to what it's doing in the Beetlejuice dimension. There was no Beetlejuice game on the Atari 2600, and the Atari wasn't even the hottest console when the movie was released. This Easter egg would make a lot more sense in the ET dimension, since there was an ET game on the Atari 2600 that was also buried underground in real life, and it's even referenced in LEGO Dimensions. Regardless, 5 years later, LEGO would release an official Atari set. LEGO Marvel Superheroes music. Does the Vorton hub music sound familiar to you? Well, if it did, that's because it first appeared 2 years earlier in LEGO Marvel Superheroes in the level Bifrosty Reception. I don't know why they decided to use this music, considering Marvel isn't a part of LEGO Dimensions. Though both uses are connected to interdimensional travel, so there's something interesting for you. Since we're talking about Marvel, here's a possible Spider-Man reference in the Portal world.
Just a quick heads up, if you suddenly find yourself able to excrete spider silk out of your fingers or the base of your spine, let one of the test associates know, because that's actually important.
Oh, there's a spider on my on my ceiling.
See that? That is a spider right there.
I want you to bite me. Come on, bite me. Lend me your power. I want to become Spider-Man!
Also, before you go into the comments, this vehicle blocking you here is not a helicarrier. It's the Valiant from Doctor Who. Water Death. According to the lore of their respective movies, Mogwai and the Wicked Witch of the West can't touch water. Mogwai will give birth to more evil Mogwai that will try to become gremlins, and Elphaba will die. LEGO Dimensions tries to remain consistent with this by having Elphaba, Gizmo, and Stripe all get killed by water. If it's a body of water, Elphaba will attempt to fly away, though if you're spraying her, she's got nowhere to go. Despite water being fatal to all three of these characters, they can all use the water element. Though other characters can surround themselves with fire and electricity, so maybe there's some kind of magic protection shit. The Gremlins one is weird to me because water is supposed to make them multiply. The water in Dimensions seems to do that, but it also kills them. In addition to that, the Gremlins can just walk around in the daytime like it's no problem. Maybe they have the chemical sunblock. All three of these characters can also survive in the rain and swim underwater in the Sonic level. Eating after midnight. In order for a Mogwai to become a gremlin, it has to eat after midnight. LEGO Dimensions references this with this obscure secret. The Scooby Snack gives everyone who eats it super strength. However, if Gizmo eats a Scooby Snack, he will transform into a gremlin in addition to gaining super strength. As of right now, this is the only official time in the Gremlins franchise where Gizmo became a gremlin. In case you were wondering, you do not have to wait until after midnight for this to happen. Or set the clock on your console to after midnight. I mean, technically all times are after midnight. We are not going down that rabbit hole. Shaun of the Dead references. In the Mission Impossible level, you're required to rescue Benji Dunn if you want all the gold bricks. Once you save Benji Dunn, he says this.
Right, I've got a new plan. Go to the canteen, have a nice cup of tea, and wait for all this to blow over.
This is a variation of another Simon Pegg line from Shaun of the Dead.
Right. We take Pete's car, we drive over to Mum's, we go in, take care of Philip.
I'm so sorry, Philip.
Then we grab Mum, we go over to Liz's place, hole up, have a cup of tea, and wait for all this to blow over.
Another Shaun of the Dead reference can be found in the quest The Rabbit's Foot Loose.
What's this? A cricket bat? What would that... Oh, no, it's a femur.
Shaun's signature weapon is a cricket bat.
What have you got there? Flowers, I hope.
No. Cricket bat.
New 52 references. One of Supergirl's exit lines is this.
Sorry, I've got like 52 things to do today. I'll be back soon, I promise.
This is a reference to New 52, DC's canonical relaunch caused by the events of Flashpoint. Another New 52 reference can be found in the Lego Batman movie Adventure World.
Yes, thank you! I hope they have all 52 new issues.
LEGO Dimensions Foreshadowing. In the post-credit scene of LEGO Jurassic World, Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler are back at their dig site. While digging, they find the gateway from LEGO Dimensions. When Alan examines the scale keystone, it begins to glow. Then we cut to black. This was obviously meant to foreshadow LEGO Dimensions, since it was the next game after LEGO Jurassic World. In addition to that, several properties that are a part of LEGO Dimensions are referenced in LEGO Jurassic World. These include Back to the Future, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Ghostbusters supposedly, and Jaws, which I know isn't a part of Dimensions, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Barney Gumble. Within the game's files, you can find an unused icon for the Simpsons character Barney Gumble. Barney's absence was likely due to the main trait of the character being alcoholism, and they wanted this game to have an E rating. Black Mesa's involvement in the Gateway. At the end of the Portal level pack, it's revealed that GLaDOS somehow gained possession of another gateway. Due to the large amount of crates from Black Mesa, some have wondered if Black Mesa are now co-owners of the Enrichment Center. If this is the case, then that means they have possession of an interdimensional gateway. How will this affect the Half-Life universe? It won't! Portal and Half-Life aren't coming back, and even if they did, I'm pretty sure they'd retcon LEGO Dimensions out of existence. Original Hub Music. As of right now, the LEGO Dimensions Vorton theme is this. However, this music wasn't originally in the game. Before an update, the Vorton theme was this. You can still hear remnants of this in the updated game and in the trailers.
I guess that gateway created the rift that brought us here.
Which gateway?
The one that exploded?
Then perhaps...
We should rebuild it.
Red Rifts. During the final Vortech fight, on rare occasions you can see red rifts. It's not clear what the purpose of these are besides aesthetics. Though it's worth noting that red rifts also appear in Adventure World gateways when you don't have a character from that dimension on the toy pad. Dimensions and Disney. One of the cancelled franchises for Dimensions was Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean was already a part of another Toys to Life franchise, being Disney Infinity. With that in mind, some have wondered if LEGO Dimensions was going to acquire other Disney Infinity franchises to give Disney another shot at Toys to Life. Considering Disney Infinity was likely cancelled for the same reason Dimensions was, this is probably untrue. Vortech's power isn't voluntary. At the beginning of the game, Vortech says this.
My dedication to this work has taken its toll. Not for much longer can I freely pass between dimensions.
This could mean that Vortech's power isn't voluntary and that he was a regular human before going on a quest to conquer the multiverse. He also seems to be in pain while repressing his powers. Apparition glitch. If you go through an apparate access panel while having either E.T. or Marceline on the toy pad as a CPU, they will try to follow you. However, these two characters can't apparate, so it just results in them standing there confused. This is especially weird since most characters, as CPUs, do not attempt to perform abilities they don't have. What's weirder is that some characters that can apparate don't try to follow you. A possible explanation for this is that Marceline and E.T. were supposed to have the ability to apparate, but it was removed at the last minute. Beta Toy Pad. On March 31st, 2016, TT Games producer Mark Warber posted this. He says it's a prototype of the toy pad for LEGO Dimensions. Obviously, it looks very different from the final toy pad. There are 9 character spots instead of 7, and it appears to be made out of actual LEGO. Secret ghost busting. Near the end of The Phantom Zone, there is a secret that allows you to skip most of the firehouse. Normally, you have to build a laser, cut a hole in the ground, complete a keystone puzzle involving elements, chroma, scaling, a dancing toaster, and the librarian's ghost, summon the double-decker couch, and then you can finally fight General Zod. However, using any Ghostbuster, you can just bust all the ghosts, summon the double-decker couch, and then fight Zod. You can also bust the ghosts in the basement and on the roof. Not quite as helpful, but still neat. Jurassic World's neglect. For some reason, Jurassic World is the only franchise that doesn't have any level or canon appearance in the main story. Shima doesn't have a level either, but the Fire Lion shows up in Riddle Earth, so it at least gets something. This is especially odd since LEGO Jurassic World teased LEGO Dimensions, and last time I checked, the Jurassic franchise is the 11th highest grossing movie franchise of all time. Look, it's possible that the developers didn't know Jurassic World was going to be the hit that it was, but it's still the Jurassic franchise. Could you imagine a level where you run around fighting dinosaurs? The only slight reference to Jurassic World in the main campaign is the min kits in Prime Time. They're the same min kits from LEGO Jurassic World, but with a different skin. The presence of these and the Chima min kits in The Final Dimension lead me to believe that Chima and Jurassic World were supposed to get levels in the main story, but they were scrapped. Despite Jurassic World not appearing in the main campaign, it does appear in the LEGO Batman movie story pack. Side note, in the Mystery Dimension, you fight an enemy gauntlet from each dimension. There are Jurassic World and Chima-themed gauntlets. However, for some reason, in the Jurassic World gauntlet, you fight ICU troopers. Instead of, f***ing dinosaurs! Scott the Woz. Scott Wozniak, aka Scott the Woz, is an American YouTuber who usually talks about stupid Nintendo shit. Scott has referenced LEGO Dimensions multiple times in the past.
LEGO Dimensions, that really exists? I guarantee you, it was a miss.
I've been murdered far too many times to accept LEGO Dimensions for Christmas.
Most famously, he made a nearly hour-long video about the Toys to Life genre. Originally, a boy from the Make-A-Wish Foundation, named Zach, requested Scott to review Skylanders Trap Team. However, Scott proposed a better idea. Make a video about every Toys to Life game he can find. Zach agreed, and on December 12th, 2021, the video was released. Zach is also in the video itself as the boss of the Waste Chasers, the company that provides Scott with Skylanders, Pokemon Rumble U figures, Disney Infinity figures, Amiibos, Starlink ships, and of course, LEGO Dimensions. Scott was very critical towards LEGO Dimensions. He believed the concept had a lot of potential and had the best excuse for being Toys to Life. However, the game felt like a normal LEGO game with annoying Toys to Life shit crammed into it. Case in point, any puzzle that requires you to move the figures around. He also didn't like that you had to download each franchise individually. While I think Scott's criticisms are fair, some of this feels like a skill issue. Scott couldn't figure out what to do next multiple times, even though the game tells you which characters you need to complete a task with these hint boxes. He also shouldn't have played the Wii U version since... yeah.
Now I'm playing the Wii U version, to which many would say, Sky, you can't play that version, it's the buggiest edition of the game, you should play the PS4 version. Honey, I just don't think I like this game.
Side note, Baby Jeff's original Iceberg has links on some entries that lead to more info on the entry. Clicking Scott the Woz leads to this.
After one stomp, it's toast.
Multiverses. Multiverses is a crossover fighting game. Most of the IPs in Multiverses were also in, or were going to be in, LEGO Dimensions. The main reason for this is that Warner Brothers owns both games and a lot of the franchises that are in them. Doug Ratman. Doug Ratman is the main star of a 2011 comic titled Portal 2: Lab Rat. This comic takes place at the same time as Portal 1, but also in between Portal 1 and 2. In it, we're shown that Doug Ratman is a lab worker at Aperture Science with a history of schizophrenia. After surviving GLaDOS' neurotoxin attack, he watched Chell's portal tests from the hidden areas where his markings can be found. In other words, Doug Ratman is the man behind the writings on the wall. Ratman also attempts to save Chell from solitary confinement, but can only put her in cryosleep for an unspecified amount of time. Doug then puts himself in cryosleep. Despite only appearing in this comic, Doug Ratman can be found in the level Aperture Science Enrichment Center. He is very hard to find since he's not connected to any min kits, and he usually disappears if you get too close or if you take too long to spot him. This video by Disney Dan does a great job of explaining how to find Doug Ratman. Community reference. On the left side of the desk in the Mystery Dimension, you can find this drawing. The drawing also appears in the intro to the NBC comedy Community, alongside Joel McHale's name. The connection is that Joel McHale plays Jeff from Community, the desk's owner, and Expo. This drawing could mean that Joel McHale is playing a fictional version of himself, but who knows. Statue of Liberty wink. The Fantastic Beasts dimension takes place in 1920s New York. Since it's New York, the Statue of Liberty is here. If you fly up to the Statue of Liberty and just hover there for a bit, this happens. This is kind of a running Easter egg since LEGO Marvel Superheroes, LEGO Marvel Avengers, and LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 also have a winking Statue of Liberty. Thanks to the wink and other similarities, some have wondered if this Statue of Liberty is canonically the same Statue of Liberty from LEGO Marvel Superheroes and LEGO Marvel Avengers. After all, you do pull it in from another dimension. While I doubt this was the intention because of copyright stuff, it's an interesting headcanon. Unfortunately, the Statue of Liberty in the Ghostbusters dimension does not wink, or do anything for that matter. Kind of a missed opportunity to have it walk through New York. Connectables. According to Just Too Good, Connectables were a cancelled feature for Year 3.
The full story of canceled Despicable Me LEGO Dimension sets are linked with the Connectables. If you remember my third canceled sets video, Connectables were little LEGO pieces and builds which I assume were on toy tags of themselves. These would act as ingredients to affect in-game vehicles and weapons as another way of customization in the Dimensions world. Connectables include the previously mentioned Weapons Crafter set, which was essentially a starter kit for Connectables and would bring players through a bunch of different areas in the Despicable Me world to get used to the Connectables themselves.
This Despicable Me pack could have been connected to the third movie that was released around this time, but who knows.
Drowning. In Sonic Dimensions, there's a section in the infamous Labyrinth Zone, the underwater level from the very first Sonic game. Just like the original game, there's lots of water. However, unlike the rest of the game, this water can actually drown you to death. Even if you're playing as a character that can survive underwater, you will drown.
Sweeney Todd reference. In the Doctor Who Adventure world, an NPC will occasionally say this.
I went to this great pie shop. Used to be a barber's, you know.
This is a reference to Sweeney Todd, the villainous killer barber from The String of Pearls. In most versions of Sweeney Todd, he gets banished from London. Afterwards, his former barbershop is taken over by Mrs. Lovett and turned into a pie shop. I don't know what this Easter egg is doing here, since the only connection I can think of between Sweeney Todd and Doctor Who is British. The hoverboard cannot move on water. If you try to hover over water, it just stops dead in its tracks. However, the two hoverboard upgrades, the Cyclone board and the Ultimate Hoverjet, can go over water without any trouble. This is consistent with Back to the Future 2, since in that movie, Marty's board can't go over the water while Griff's Pitbull can. There's also a skin for the hoverboard that makes it more resemble the Pitbull. Principal Ford. In the E.T. Adventure world, you're required to fix the elementary school sign in order to get a gold brick. Before fixing the sign, a teacher says that Principal Ford is gonna lose it if he sees this. This is a reference to a deleted scene from E.T. In said deleted scene, Principal Ford is played by Harrison Ford, aka Indiana Jones, aka Han Solo, aka a bunch of other things.
Well, tomorrow, like they say, tomorrow's the first day of the rest of your life. Am I right?
Funko Fusion. Funko Fusion is an upcoming game developed by 1010 Games. The game is a crossover between many popular franchises with the overarching story of Evil Guy wants to conquer the multiverse. If you think that sounds a lot like LEGO Dimensions, you're not alone. Multiple people have drawn the comparison, especially because 1010 Games was formed by a team of ex-TT developers, including the founder, John Burton. The big differences between Funko Fusion and LEGO Dimensions are the game having a Funko theme instead of a LEGO one, the absence of Toys to Life, most of the properties being from Universal instead of Warner Brothers, and Funko Fusion being more targeted towards adults. There's blood in this thing. Unused gateway screens. The screen stickers on the gateway are never animated or used in-game. I guess they're only there for aesthetic purposes. 2020 Twitter account. F*** off, Elon Musk. The official LEGO Dimensions Twitter account reactivated in June 2020. You can tell this is the real deal thanks to the many official promotional accounts adding them. On the account, there are many liked tweets asking for Dimensions to come back. Some of these tweets were liked even before its reactivation, but after LEGO Dimensions was officially canned. Unfortunately, there hasn't been any activity from the account since March of 2021. By some weird coincidence, this is the same month the Norm of the North Twitter account started its reign of anarchy. I guess whoever was in charge of the account originally regained control but stopped so that Warner Brothers wouldn't fire them. I'd ask them myself, but the DMs are locked. I find it weird that this account doesn't have any tweets when other accounts belonging to dead things have tweets, but Project Zeus. The internal name of LEGO Dimensions was Project Zeus. I don't know what the connection is. My best guess is that this was a random working title they came up with in order to avoid leaking anything. Internal Wiki. Within the game's files, you can find an internal developer wiki link for game documentation. This mysterious internal developer has never been made public or leaked. Trying the link out will lead us to nothing. Unknown Polybag. There's an unreleased polybag labeled 71341. It's unknown what this was going to be or why it was scrapped. I found some rumors stating that it could have been either the Flash or Lord Vortech. Who makes gateways? The only in-game gateways to show up are in Vorton, Foundation Prime, the Mystery Dimension and/or Joel McHale's basement, the Aperture Science Enrichment Center, and the Badlands, though that last one might not be canon. They seem to be designed to be computer terminals of some sort, implying their explicit creation. It's unclear where they came from or who made them. Baby Jeff's Iceberg proposes that LEGO itself might have created them, so we might have a Space Jam 2 situation. Cloud Cuckoo Car Significance. The Unikitty Fun Pack comes with the Cloud Cuckoo Car. While this is an original vehicle for LEGO Dimensions, it bears a striking resemblance to the Cloud Car from the Unikitty show. I'd say the Cloud Cuckoo Car was based on the Cloud Car if it weren't for the fact that the Unikitty show premiered over a year after LEGO Dimensions. With some thinking, I came up with two possible explanations. 1. The Unikitty show was in development around the same time as LEGO Dimensions. This isn't impossible considering how long animation takes to finish. 2. It's a coincidence. Unikitty is the princess of the skies, so it's possible that two separate people independently have thought of the idea of a cloud car. Tumblr. The Dimensions Tumblr page not only has a detailed custom UI, but it is the only official social media for the game that is still readily accessible. Only a matter of time before Warner Bros. Takes it down. Gaming Icon Adventure World. In Just Too Good's video titled Top 10 Cancelled LEGO Part 4, something mentioned seemed off. When Just Too Good talks about the cancelled Mega Man Fun Pack, she claims that it would have unlocked a Gaming Icons Adventure World rather than a Mega Man Adventure World.
Mega Man. As a fun pack, this would unlock a Gaming Icon Adventure World as opposed to one based on Mega Man.
Considering no other source talks about this, she was probably mistaken. Marceline was a vehicle. Several people who bought the Marceline Fun Pack on launch day were met with a terrible discovery. The game mistook Marceline's toy tag for that of a vehicle, meaning no one could play as her. This was later fixed with a patch. Lost gold bricks. In a patch, 52 gold bricks were removed. Episode 37 of the Inside LEGO podcast provides a possible explanation as to why.
Now, this is the part of the video where I would usually show you what I'm talking about, but the podcast, try to look it up. Yeah, let's look it up on Apple Podcasts, why don't we? It doesn't exist anymore. Like it's not on Internet Archive, as you can see there. It's not. See, the podcast existed. It was that, but well, let me play it. The Baby Jeff's Iceberg provided a link to it. But the video is private for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know, maybe somebody broke an NDA or something. You know, try on the Wayback Machine. I already tried it, but I'll try it again just to show it off. Doesn't work. Yeah, that's depressing. For those who are wondering, the podcast talks about the gold bricks that were removed in an update. They say it would have been a part of a Minecraft thing. Might have been related to Minecraft story mode, but I don't know. We have no way of knowing now. Just... And another thing, my footage. It says right there, 1 unavailable video is hidden. I'm telling you right now, it's that podcast. Because I recorded it. Or I didn't record it. I was hoping I'd have it in my files. I don't. I listened to the thing. They talk about it a lot. They were like, yeah, the gold bricks were removed, probably related to a Minecraft thing. Not there anymore. And they also mentioned how, like, they weren't, like, Lego Dimensions was like a cursed word in the office because they were like, oh, Lego Dimensions. And they were like, yeah. And it's like, don't mention it.
Fourth Doctor's Secret TARDIS. As mentioned earlier, certain Doctors are given a different TARDIS interior. The Fourth Doctor's interior isn't unlocked the same way as the others are. Instead of just entering the TARDIS, you have to enter the TARDIS on the 4th day of any month. You can also just set the date on whatever console you have to the 4th day of the month. I have no idea how someone discovered this, but it's still neat. Vortech's home. As mentioned earlier, within the files of LEGO Dimensions, you can find multiple scrapped lines from Lord Vortech that were going to be a part of his cancelled fun pack. One of these lines is this.
Home sweet home. Oh dear. Seems I left the place in a bit of a mess.
This implies that Lord Vortech has a home dimension of some kind. Kinda disappointing we never got to see it. Skipping the starter pack characters. After starting a new file, the game will tell you to place Batman on the left side of the toy pad. Doing this will trigger a cutscene showing you how Batman got involved in the story. When the cutscene ends, you must repeat the cycle with Gandalf and Wildstyle. This is the game's way of getting you accustomed to the Toys to Life mechanic. However, there is a way to skip all of this. Just sit there and do nothing for around 3 to 18 minutes and the game will continue by itself. This also happens in the LEGO Batman movie story pack. This trick was likely an accident. As far as I'm concerned, it's kinda useless. Doing nothing takes longer than placing the figure. And even ignoring that, who is so lazy that they refuse to place a toy on a square, but also so patient that they're willing to wait 3 to 18 minutes? Side note, after the first 3 cutscenes, the game asks you to place the characters on the toy pad again. If you try the trick here, the 4th cutscene trigger will eventually happen, but it will be kinda fucked. After the cutscene, the camera will be stuck at this angle. In order to fix this, you must quit the game and then come back. Second Doctor's Secret Line. Near the end of the Goonies level, you can find a TARDIS panel. The panel leads you to a secret Doctor Who area based on a lost episode. When you enter this area, the 2nd and 12th Doctor will be there to greet you. While the 12th Doctor says the same thing he says to his duplicate, the 2nd Doctor says a line that's nowhere else in the game.
Oh my word!
This makes him the only Year 1 character to have a new line of dialogue added by Year 2. It's still only an archived audio clip, but it's better than nothing.
Doctor, look! Oh my word!
Both of these Doctors are also playable in this section, even if the 12th Doctor isn't on the toy pad. Though you still have to buy the Doctor Who level pack to get to this area anyway, so the game isn't giving you a freebie. Wildstyle's Scanner. A required ability in order to progress through the main story is relic detecting. The only characters that can detect relics are Wildstyle, Bad Cop, and Chase McCain. Wildstyle comes with the starter pack, so you don't need to buy anyone new in order to beat the game. Most people playing the game may assume that the scanner is an original addition to LEGO Dimensions. However, believe it or not, the scanner was actually in the LEGO movie. When we first meet Wildstyle, she's using the scanner to look for something. After Emmett confronts her, Wildstyle puts the scanner away, and it's never mentioned or seen again. LEGO Dimensions is actually the only official way to buy the scanner. Hoopy the Hoop. At the end of Portal 1, a cutscene plays showing the Aperture Science Enrichment Center exploding. One of the many pieces of fallen debris is a large metal hoop. For some reason, this hoop became a meme among the Portal fanbase and was later nicknamed Hoopy the Hoop. Valve decided to play along by inserting Hoopy the Hoop in hidden areas of Portal media. As you probably guessed, Hoopy the Hoop can be found in LEGO Dimensions. In the level Aperture Science Enrichment Center, keep playing as you normally would until you get to the secret passage with Wheatley. Once you've arrived, instead of going forward, step back here. Don't leave the area, but get really close to the exit trigger. Once you do this, pan the camera to the left, and there it is! This is the only way to see Hoopy since the camera won't change if you just fly over there. Scanning device. According to Just Too Good, there was a cancelled peripheral for LEGO Dimensions that would have scanned figures and vehicles into the game.
One of the coolest cancelled plan sets from LEGO Dimensions was a peripheral with the ability to scan minifigures or vehicles in the game. Yeah, this sounds crazy, right? The accessory was a scanning device using lights and a rotating plate that would capture high-res, three-dimensional models of whichever LEGO was rotated on the plate. The idea was outsourced from a spatial phase imaging company, and while a product like this could have single-handedly saved Dimensions, it probably was never pursued because the consumer price tag would be way too expensive. Such a fresh idea would require expensive parts, along with the quality assurance. It didn't help that the starter pack for Dimensions was already considered overpriced by many, so to release such an expensive additional peripheral would turn consumers away. Unfortunately, I haven't seen many devices that can represent such a peripheral like this, as it truly was revolutionary. It's a shame the device will never see the light of day due to Dimensions ending.
It's unclear as to if this device would have only scanned official LEGO Dimensions figures or all official LEGO figures. Reused mini-kits. While most of the mini-kits are original models, several of them are either old models or reskins of old models. The mini-kits for Painting the Town Black are taken directly from the classic LEGO Batman games, which in and of themselves are reskins of the LEGO Star Wars mini-kits. The mini-kits in Riddle Earth are taken directly from LEGO The Hobbit. The mini-kits in Primetime are reskins of the mini-kits from LEGO Jurassic World. And the mini-kits in The End Is Try look exactly like the LEGO Star Wars mini-kits, except they have the Octan logo on them. Cyberman and Gold. If you touch Gold as a Cyberman, you will take damage. This makes sense since in the Doctor Who show, Cybermen are allergic to gold.
Voga, otherwise known as the planet of gold, is hated and feared by Cybermen because gold is lethal to them.
How?
It's the perfect non-corrodable metal. It plates their breathing apparatus and in effect suffocates them.
This is barely mentioned in the show, so somebody behind LEGO Dimensions must be a hardcore Doctor Who fan. I would never have discovered this without Rugged Eagle. Vorton is Zen. As mentioned earlier, the Portal franchise takes place in the same universe as the Half-Life franchise. So, by default, LEGO Dimensions is connected to Half-Life. In the Half-Life franchise, there is a place called Zen. Zen is a mysterious space-like void that connects to every dimension across the multiverse. Some have theorized that Vorton from LEGO Dimensions is actually Zen from Half-Life. The main evidence is that both are in a space void, both have floating rocks everywhere, both seem to connect to the multiverse, and Half-Life is in the same universe as Portal, which is in the same multiverse as LEGO Dimensions. I doubt this theory was the intention, but you can't deny the plausibility. LEGO Universe's destruction led to LEGO Dimensions. LEGO Universe was a defunct LEGO MMO. It was shut down after a year due to not having a satisfying amount of revenue from its target audience. However, the developers stated that the canonical reason for its end was that the villain, Maelstrom, won. Well, you/Bunny Cute Tyler came up with a theory stating that LEGO Universe's canonical ending led to the events of LEGO Dimensions. According to the theory, after Maelstrom won, one person managed to survive. Let's call this hypothetical person Gary. Gary was infected by the Maelstrom but still managed to escape its grasp. Despite his successful evasion, the infection slowly starts to take over Gary's mind. While he's still sane, he decides to go on a quest to restore his world. So he searches the multiverse for a new home with the help of Expo. Then Gary hears about Foundation Prime and spends his entire life searching for it. The theory also states that Foundation Prime from LEGO Dimensions and Crux Prime from LEGO Universe are one and the same. Crux Prime is the source of all imagination, while Foundation Prime, we don't know. By the time Gary finds Foundation Prime, it's too late. He's lost his mind, now goes by Lord Vortech, and wants to rule the multiverse. Vortech being a normal guy at first could also explain why Expo helped him in the first place. Our theorist also points out that Maelstrom and Lord Vortech look kinda similar, and they're both interdimensional conquerors. Another piece of evidence supporting this theory is that in the final dimension you can find a secret area. That secret area is the Destiny's Bounty from Ninjago. Ninjago is one of the accessible worlds in LEGO Universe. The gateway to the Destiny's Bounty is also incredibly far away from Vortech's throne. Perhaps Maelstrom put it there so that Vortech wouldn't remember what he used to fight for. Come to think of it, Vortech's home that was mentioned in one of his unused lines could have been LEGO Universe. The main hole in this theory is this. Why didn't Expo mention any of this when explaining Vortech's plan? Trans-reality pocket dimension. Expo describes the Midway arcade dimension as a trans-reality pocket dimension. What does this mean? Well, Batman asks that very question. Expo replies with,
"It means it'll be weird."
Judging by what the trio faces in the Midway arcade dimension, trans-reality pocket dimension could mean that the dimension was created based on the fictional arcade games. In other words, this dimension isn't real in the same way the other dimensions are. I mean, technically none of this is real, it's a video game, but you know what I mean.
It's almost like we're in a video game.
That is the single most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Vortech's favorite dimension. There is a noticeable amount of Cloud Cuckoo Land references in Vortech-related areas. The most obvious one is the secret area in Primetime that leads directly to Cloud Cuckoo Land. While it's never said, this could imply that Vortech's favorite dimension is the LEGO Movie dimension since it contains Cloud Cuckoo Land. It could also just be that the developers wanted to bookend the game with Cloud Cuckoo Land, but the former explanation is funnier. Though it could also be both. Foundation Element's true nature. At the end of Primetime, Vortech gathers all of the Foundation elements to form the foundation of all dimensions. A green LEGO base plate.
All this for a green square?
It may not seem like much, but the green square gives him the power to feel and control everything. This scene also implies that the objects may not be the foundational part of them, but the pieces that they're made of are. The green LEGO base plate being the foundation of all dimensions could also be an in-joke about how green is a very common color for LEGO base plates, which are usually used by real-life master builders for elaborate sets. In other words, green is the physical foundation for everything. Imaginary worlds. The LEGO Movie and The Wizard of Oz are canon to the LEGO Dimensions multiverse. However, if you've seen either of those movies, you'd realize that this has bizarre implications. At the end of the original Wizard of Oz, Dorothy is told that she can go home to Kansas by just tapping her heels and saying there's no place like home. This works, but not in the way you'd expect. After trying this, Dorothy suddenly wakes up in her home, with her family by her side. They tell her the storm passed and that she was knocked out for most of it. But because this is a movie, the knockout didn't damage Dorothy's brain in any way. She just fell asleep for a bit. In short, this ending tells us that Dorothy's adventure through Oz was nothing but a dream. Everyone Dorothy met in Oz is just a representation of somebody she already met in Kansas.
This is all a hallucination.
The LEGO Movie has a similar ending, though it's not quite as simple. Emmett and his friends are in grave danger. Everyone is about to be electrocuted to death by the battery Emmett is stuck to, and Lord Business is on his way to Bricksburg to craggle everyone. However, Emmett has an idea. Earlier, Lord Business broke a window in order to throw the piece of resistance into the
Infinite abyss of nothingness!
or the Eon. Emmett realizes that he can get himself loose, roll out the window, have the battery disconnect from the cord, and fall into the Eon. While this will likely lead to his death, it will also result in the Master Builder surviving. So he executes this plan, and it works.
There it goes!
No! Now it's your turn to be the hero.
No!
After the survivors do a bunch of hero shit, we cut back to Emmett, still falling in the Eon. Suddenly, Emmett is in some strange place. What appears to be every place he's visited are all around him, and there's a strange giant creature running around with a spaceship. You can probably put together what's going on here.
This isn't even happening. It's all just the expression of the death of imagination in the subconscious of an adolescent.
As an addition to this, Knight Rider is also in LEGO Dimensions and the Tommy Westphall universe. For those unaware, the Tommy Westphall universe all stems from a show called Saint Elsewhere. Saint Elsewhere has referenced and crossed over with 13 other shows. Those shows have crossed over with other shows, and those shows have crossed over with other shows, and those shows have crossed over with other shows, and, well, basically think of any live-action show you've seen, it's probably connected. Okay, scratch that. Animated shows are also included. And Doctor Who. And Red Dwarf. However, Saint Elsewhere ends with the reveal that every event in the show was actually just in the imagination of a little boy named Tommy. Saint Elsewhere Hospital is nothing but a model in a snow globe. So that must mean that every show that's connected to Saint Elsewhere was also just imagined by Tommy. But back to the matter at hand. How do all three of these seemingly imaginary dimensions fit into the LEGO Dimensions multiverse? Are we following Multiverse of Madness rules where every dream you have is actually just a variant of you from another dimension? Are Dorothy, Finn, and Tommy sharing an Inception box and/or tinfoil hat? Did one character just imagine the other in their dream/imagination? Well, the LEGO movie I have an explanation for. For the sake of argument, let's assume that the real world found in the Mystery Dimension and Arkham Attack is not the same real world found in the LEGO movies. Despite the clear implications, what's actually happening is quite vague. You'd think everything was in Finn's imagination, but no. Every LEGO character is able to have their own independent thoughts and actions in the real world. However, their movements are very limited. They only regain their full control whenever Finn or Bianca comes up with some kind of scenario for them. So this means that the LEGO movies are Finn and Bianca's imagination, and subconscious manifested into some crazy fantasy adventure. However, they're also real in the sense that the LEGO movie universe runs parallel to whatever shit is going on in the real world. So Finn or Bianca must be playing out some version of LEGO Dimensions in their world, while Finn's playtime scenario is happening for realsies elsewhere in the multiverse. I'm assuming this only applies when their characters are involved. Anyway, The Wizard of Oz is a little harder to come up with a canon explanation for. While the LEGO movie implies a parallel dimension, The Wizard of Oz just comes out and says, "It was all a dream." I thought of two possible explanations. One, we're following Multiverse of Madness rules. When Dorothy was dreaming, she was just seeing the experiences of a variant from another dimension. This is actually more fitting than you'd think because through a very complicated Tommy Westphall chain or multiversal chain, the MCU is technically connected to this game. Two, this Wizard of Oz world isn't the same as the 1939 film. LEGO Dimensions is obviously not canon to almost all of the properties it's connected to, since there are many things that contradict the properties they're adapting from, and its sequels that came after this. So maybe the Wizard of Oz dimension isn't a dream. After all, in the book, Oz is a real place that Dorothy travels to. Side note, in the Wizard of Oz dimension, you can go to Kansas by just falling off over on this side of the world. And if you follow the red brick road, it just leads you to Kansas. So that means Galinda and these munchkins are just fucking assholes. You could have just told her to follow the red brick road. The same can go for Tommy Westphall, however, I have another explanation. Rather than Tommy making up all these people in his head, these characters are real in his own universe, and he just thought it'd be cool if they were in St. Elsewhere. Or maybe none of this game is real, and it's just Dorothy's dream, or Finn's imagination, or Tommy Westfall's snow globe, and nothing matters because at the end of the day, this game is just a bunch of pixels! The Try was a black hole. At the end of The End is Try, the piece of Vortech that was powering the Try starts collapsing in on itself. Then the screen implodes into itself. After the results screen, we get a cutscene confirming that our heroes managed to escape. The weird thing about this is that the visual and the description Wildstyle gave made the piece sound like a black hole of some kind. Some have wondered if this scene implies that the LEGO DC dimension was canonically destroyed. I doubt that was the intention, since that's incredibly morbid for a kid's game, and there were more LEGO DC films and games released after this. Though, again, this game is likely intended to be non-canon to every property it connects to. That and BD1P believes that the LEGO Batman timeline splits in two after Dimensions. Civilization on Vorton. Due to the many specific structures and devices on Vorton, it can be inferred that it used to have a civilization of some kind. This is interesting to think about, and it kinda reminds me of those art pieces around the world that don't have a clear origin. Perpetual Testing Initiative. The Perpetual Testing Initiative is a storyline introduced in Portal 2's community maps to give the endless user-generated content some canonicity. According to this video, Cave Johnson tricked other Aperture Science enrichment centers from other dimensions into designing portal test chambers for him for free. If we take this as canon, it could explain every single portal connection in LEGO Dimensions. The LEGO franchise worlds would just be a part of the multiverse mentioned in the Perpetual Testing Initiative. This can also canonically explain any continuity errors between LEGO Dimensions and Portal 3 or Half-Life 3. If they're ever made. Just say that this universe is a different universe in the Half-Life multiverse. What is Foundation Prime? Exactly what Foundation Prime is quite vague. It seems to be the center of the multiverse, but it's unknown who made it or why it exists. Also, Vortech can walk on the white stuff fine at the beginning of the game, and our heroes can't without just sinking in and dying. He's probably got power or something. Expo Duplicates. The Gateway found in the Mystery Dimension and Aperture Science both have the pieces to build Expo. We don't see any purpose for these pieces other than building Expo, so it's possible that there's multiple Expos in the LEGO Dimensions multiverse. That or Expo controls a hive mind of robots. Multiverse or universe? This sounds like it doesn't matter, and to be honest, it probably doesn't. LEGO Dimensions combines multiple IPs together with the excuse of, it's another dimension. With that in mind, you'd think that everything is connected via the multiverse. While that is a fair way of describing it, the game never actually uses the word multiverse, unless you count promotional material.
Welcome to the LEGO Multiverse. The LEGO Multiverse is yours to discover.
Whenever somebody describes all the dimensions as one structure, they call it a universe. In contrast, most media and real-life theories would describe it as a multiverse, and they would use the phrases dimension and universe interchangeably. What does this mean? I have no idea. Maybe it was a mistake. The answer. At the beginning of LEGO Dimensions, we see multiple structures rise from the weird white stuff in Foundation Prime. While most of these are random, one of them could be important. The number 42. In Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the number 42 is the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. This could imply that 42 is the answer to everything in LEGO Dimensions as well. By the way, some version of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is also a part of that Tommy Westfall universe we brought up earlier, so take that as you will. And that was the Iceberg. It took a lot of time and money that I didn't need to spend because I could have just used the machine thing, but I chose not to because I guess I just don't really like pirating games. No shame if you do, of course. Took a lot of time. I've technically been working on this since last year because that's when I started replaying the games, but it was all worth it for this video, and finding out that there's a LEGO game that references a penis. Thank you all for watching, and thank you, Supersonic Mikey, for contributing.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you, Blagus, for having me part of this Iceberg video. Till then, I'll be rolling around at the speed of sound. See ya!